Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hoopers Lab podcast. This is the podcast where we talk all things basketball. I'm your host, Brody, joined here by my co host, Riley.
Hello, hello.
It is March, baby. We are doing our March Madness bracket prediction. And we just want to say beforehand that you're definitely not experts.
We
um,
are. This will be the most accurate of accurate brackets in the world, 100%.
you imagine the publicity?
Feels weird not seeing your face right now. This feels like super off.
Feels weird.
It does feel weird. I can't
Mm.
think properly.
Oh, well, that's gonna be an issue. Um,
Yeah, it's just a
okay,
normal.
so yeah, we're filling out our bracket. Okay, I want to know like what your values are when looking at the NCAA March Madness. Like, what is the number one thing that you look for in a team to like go all the way?
I think teams that play with pace can be really dangerous, like play on the fast break. Um, but also,
Really? Okay.
can have also I don't know, I guess run because most college teams or a lot of college teams have sets on defense specifically, but teams
Mm,
that will specifically switch it up to make it harder to score on defense. So yeah,
yeah. Obviously, there's lots of things that I look at, but I think the number one thing I look at is do they shoot and make a lot of threes? And do
yeah,
they defend the 3-point line as well?
yeah,
Those two things together are just a dangerous numbers game.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, let's. How much do you know about this tournament and some of the teams?
How much did I study? We'll just
Yeah,
say not at all. I did I did one bracket, but I didn't look too much into it.
it's mostly a vibe check. But
Yeah. No, that's
okay,
how I
first,
always do it. I look at teams, I'm like, I remember you were pretty good last year and all.
yeah. Um, okay, so let's look here. Yukon and Stetson going for the upset.
I, of course. No, I think UConn is a lot of people's favorite this year, from what I've
They're
seen.
they're my favorite.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's finish your bracket now. I think UConn is a pretty solid. Well, I think any one seed is a good decision not to pick the upset, but you never know.
Well, last year Purdue was the one seed and they lost.
Was that really
So,
last year? Man, time sure does go slow? Question mark.
but yeah, UConn they won last year. They won the tournament with Jordan Hawkins and someone else. I don't
My
remember.
boy, wasn't
But
it last year that Purdue got upset?
I'm
Was it?
pretty sure. Yeah, Purdue was last year
Hmm.
because yeah, it was last year. I'm like pretty sure.
Yeah, I think you might be right actually.
Um, okay. 8-9 matchup. Now this 8-9 matchups are always interesting.
Yeah, they're always close.
Yeah. Um, no, FAU I think they made it far last year,
Yeah, I remember they had a solid run last year.
but I personally like Northwestern here just because they're a great shooting team and they play at a slow pace and they're pretty experienced from what I see.
Mhm. Ooh,
Another thing I look
yeah, that also gets you pretty far, having some solid vets.
Yeah, another thing I look at is, your scoring distribution. Like if you're a team that's like really balanced, I think that that kind of hurts you in a way. I like teams that have that main guy.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
I agree.
yeah, I like teams that have that main guy.
So we going Northwestern here?
I like Northwestern there.
I agree. I think I didn't even let me save my first bracket. I went through the whole thing and then it was like nothing was working. I was like, bruh. I think I picked them on my first run through though.
San Diego State and UAB.
5-12s are usually an upset bracket or an upset point in the bracket. But I don't know. I'm kind of rocking with I've always been rocking with San Diego State, and they usually perform pretty well in the tournament, from my recollection at least.
I'm pretty sure they made it to the championship game last year. Was it them versus not UConn. Yeah, was it them versus UConn last year?
Was it?
I will double check, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. It was in the championship game, San Diego State versus UConn.
Makes sense. Yeah,
The
they always
finals.
perform well in the tournament from what I can remember in the past as well too. So yeah, I'd be okay running with them as the pick here.
Yeah, we could go with that. Um, Auburn and Yale. Those Yale boys, they got the IQ.
Yeah, I was gonna say Yale's just gonna outsmart them.
Yeah. Um, are we actually thinking Yale?
Are you? I was
Not
thinking.
really.
I okay, good. I was thinking Auburn pretty convincingly.
Yeah, I like Auburn.
Auburn usually does well, and like Yale is just Yale. So
Yeah. I'll go with that. Now, BYU and Duquesne. Now, BYU is a team I'm really high on
yeah,
because they attempt the most threes in college basketball. They defend the line extremely well, and they also have size. So I think they're a dangerous team for me personally.
okay, okay.
I would go with them pretty handedly, and I could see them making it pretty far. But what do you think here?
I like that. I'm down for that pick.
Yeah, okay. Uh,
Illinois and
Illinois and
Moorhead. Yes, please.
yes, sir, championship team, the Jamal Murray led team.
Oh my God.
Um, yeah, this matchup's interesting. Um, do you have any thoughts on this matchup?
I mean, Illinois is always usually pretty good. They're usually at the top of the bracket. I feel like they've kind of disappointed in the past few years, though. Not that I wouldn't bet on a 14 seed upsetting them, but I'm not super duper high on them, I'd say.
Yeah, I doing my research, I like Moorhead. Not just because of the name. They're
Of
great
course you like
defensively. They shoot
Moorhead.
a lot of threes. Yeah, of course I want. Um, um, they play a slow pace, which I like. I That's why I was like when you were talking about fast break. Uh, I'm not cutting out a bunch. Um,
It's
but
better
when you
than,
were
well,
talking,
it's okay.
whatever. When you were talking about fast break, like you like teams that play fast. I'm kind of the opposite when it comes to the tournament. I like
I think
teams.
like as long as you have that control, which is the problem with some teams, they just play too fast that they like don't, and they can
Yeah,
being able to I guess like switch out of that gear and also control the game at the same time, I think is important, which is the problem even in the NBA with a lot of young teams. They just can't make that switch. But yeah,
yeah, that's true. I'm good with either team here. I like Moorhead for the upset, but if you want to go with Illinois, then I'm cool with that too.
I'm game for the 14 upset.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Moorhead.
fuck you, Illinois. We want more head.
Um, yeah, go. Yeah, I like Moorhead. Great defensively. They they shoot a lot of threes. They're led by a 21 point per game scorer, Riley Minks.
I'm
Their
him.
leader is Riley,
I'm
you
him.
know, and they're great rebounding. So these are kind of things that I look for, and I don't mind the upset there.
I'm game.
And I kind of want our bracket to be unique in a way, not to like try so hard to be different, but I can legitimately see an upset here.
Yeah, my first my first bracket I had like no upsets. I was like,
Yeah. Um, yeah, that's like, and I was watching this video of like this analyst, and he was just like, I don't remember who it was, but I seen this video. It was like this talking head on TV. He was going through the bracket, and he like just picked the favorite every time, and I was like, bruh, like
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
not gonna happen.
there's a couple people that I think on like just on YouTube that have pretty good college basketball knowledge, and I take their opinion pretty highly. But I haven't,
Yeah.
unfortunately, they haven't made any videos yet. So
Just trying to get their opinions, but
for real,
um, yeah, Drake and Washington State. Um, this one I think is close for me,
I agree. I
but
agree.
yeah. What do you lean a certain way here?
I like them. Yeah, I like them both. But in my first bracket, I went Drake. I feel like they always are okay for, at least a first round win, maybe a second round win in that kind of area. But yeah, I went Drake originally because Drake's my boy. Just kidding.
Um, Champagne Poppy. Um, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I had Drake originally, and then with my second bracket, I had Washington State.
Yeah,
Um,
Washington,
the,
yeah, that's the thing. Like Washington State's usually really good as well in a very solid program, so I could really see it going either way.
my problem with Drake is they don't rebound. They're like a bottom rebounding team, and I think that that's huge. Like that's something that like I value possessions and how effectively you use your possessions. If you're a team that rebounds well, you shoot a lot of threes, you defend the 3-point line, then you're gonna go far in my brackets.
Yeah,
Um, but Drake doesn't rebound that well, and Washington State is on a roll from what I've seen.
yeah, I was gonna say, I think I saw they've been hot as of recent.
That's important too. I
That's
think
true.
teams
That's
that
true.
go Washington State.
Sorry, Drake. Guess you're not the goat. Okay.
UC slide out of the tournament.
Damn. Damn. Some hater. All right. Iowa State versus South Dakota State. Are we predicting an upset here?
Oh, you're thinking about it?
No. But
Oh, okay.
well, not heavily, because I mean, at the end of the day, it's 215. But I do like South Dakota State as well. But yeah, at the end of the day, how many? There's only been like a few 215 upsets as well, hasn't there?
Yeah, there has. I'm not gonna lie, I considered it from
Yeah,
when
I
I
yeah
first was upset,
yeah
but
I like South Dakota State, but it's just like the odds are against yeah.
Iowa State's also great defensively. I'm not high on Iowa State for the whole bracket, but I think
Yeah.
they'll win this game.
Yep, I agree. I agree with that.
They're kind of a team that, for me, it goes back to that thing that they're too balanced,
That's fair.
where they don't like. I think their highest point per game scorer has like averages 12 points, you know,
That's
and it's like
crazy.
12, 10, 10, So
Out here looking like my
that,
benches and when I'm rebuilding a team. Which
um,
division do we want to move on to?
scroll down and go to the West.
Bet, bet, bet.
Yeah, let's do all the first round first. I don't like when people do
No,
the whole.
I do round by round.
Yeah, yeah. Um, wait, you
North,
do round. Oh, yeah. I see what you mean.
yeah.
Okay.
NC versus How slash Wag.
House slash wag. Um, I'm going UNC here. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't really.
not much of a what's the word? Not much of an argument here.
Yeah. Um, Mississippi State versus Michigan State. This one's another 8-9.
Yeah, always gonna be a close matchup. In mine, I think I had I don't know. I was gonna say I think I had them going far, but I mean not. Oops. Um, but I mean it's hard when you have the one seed in the next round. But in my original, I went Michigan. But yeah,
Yeah, I'm good with either. Michigan State, I think, has the better reputation.
yeah,
So,
yeah. That's the thing.
and it's us picking an upset.
Ba barely.
Let's go St. Mary's Grand Canyon. They, they play in
Um,
the Grand Canyon. That's crazy, bro.
in the middle of it, I was low key thinking upset here, but I want to hear what you're thinking.
I thought of it too. I like St. Mary's a lot, though. I think there's another 5-12 matchup that I like a lot more.
Okay,
On the
okay.
other side of it. But when we look at, I think St. Mary's, they rebound well, which I like. They're great defensively, which I like, and they don't allow threes, which I like.
Sounds about right. That is true. I mean, that's basically all you can ask for, really. You're gonna
Yeah,
win
I don't.
basketball games if you do those things.
Yeah, I could definitely see a mismatch or not a mismatch, an upset here, but
Yeah,
I would go with St. Mary's.
but I'm
But
okay with that.
All right.
I do like St. Mary's. Um,
Yeah.
Bama was the heavy favorite last year, right? They were like a was it last year? I remember one of the years they were like a super heavy. Not for the whole tournament, but to make it to the finals.
I'll check what they did last year. Um,
Because I'm pretty sure they got upset earlier than anticipated last year, if I remember
they were the
correctly.
one seed last year.
Yeah,
They lost in the Sweet 16 to San Diego State.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm Charleston. I'm still okay going Alabama here, unless you have some insight on Charleston.
Um, this game is gonna be like a barn burner just
Hmm.
because most of these teams are teams that shoot a lot of threes and make a lot of threes and are not good defensively.
Yeah,
Um, which is kind of surprising for Alabama, I
I was
feel like.
gonna
I feel
say.
like they're usually like a defensive team.
Yeah,
I personally liked Charleston here just because Alabama turns the ball over a lot and Charleston is on a night like Charleston's on fire right now. But I wouldn't mind Alabama.
would
It's
you?
just basically going to be who makes more threes, I think it'll come down to. Just because both those teams are like fast-paced teams that shoot a lot of threes. So it's
Yeah,
whoever's hot that. So I'm good either way.
let's go. Let's play it safe, and we'll go Alabama.
Let's go. Yeah, let's go Alabama. Um, Clemson and who's that? New Mexico.
New Mexico.
Um, I don't have too much insight on this. Do you have any
I was
thoughts?
gonna say I didn't. This is like one of them. I don't remember like any. I feel like New Mexico historically is okay, but
I think New
yeah,
Mexico is like a good underdog team.
I
I
that's
think
what I
they're
was
like,
thinking. Yeah,
yeah. I'm pretty sure they're on a roll right now and they've turned it around from last year.
yeah,
So I don't mind taking the upset, the underdog, and kind of the team that's going in hot to the tournament.
I'm down for a 6-11 upset.
Yeah, we could do that. Now we got
Baylor,
some.
Baylor and Colgate.
I don't know much about either of these teams, but I would go Baylor
Yeah,
maybe.
I really wanted to push for Colgate, but I mean they're going up against Baylor, and Baylor's just always such a, as of recent, they've been such a good team in the tournament. And I think it's hard to go against Baylor.
Yeah. That's good, yeah. What do you think of this next matchup? 7-10, Dayton and
Dayton
Nevada.
and Nevada. I always like um, Nevada here, but I guess Dayton has been pretty good the past few years though. So I feel like that is the safe
Yeah.
pick if we were gonna go that route. But yeah,
We'll see what they did in the tournament last year. If they made it even, but
I feel like they're usually historically pretty okay.
I don't think I see them here. Unless I'm blind, which could be a possibility. Um, Dayton. I personally like Dayton here, but wait, who did you pick?
I was game for Dayton as well.
You were okay, yeah. I like Dayton. I think that they're a good shooting and defensive team. From what I see, they're like one of the best teams in limiting free throws, which
Yeah,
is another thing, like getting to the line.
yeah.
Uh,
Defending
and
without
they have,
fouling.
hmm?
Defending without fouling.
Yeah, I think that's important. And they
Yeah,
also have a 20-point per game score, so I think that that kind of, I like them personally. Yeah,
I'm
cool
down
with
for
that.
that.
Yeah.
Arizona,
Um,
Long Beach upset?
no, I was joking. Are you
No.
wait. Let's not. I didn't know Arizona lost last year as the 215.
Who would they lose to? Was it
Princeton.
Prin Princeton? That's crazy.
Ah,
Did Princeton make it past the 15 or the second round last year?
they made it to the Sweet 16.
Okay, so they did win their next matchup as well.
They beat Missouri in the second round, and then they lost to Creighton.
Um,
Um, I don't know much about either team really.
yeah, historically Arizona's okay. They just always seem to be one of the higher seeds in the tournament. So I wouldn't, and I expect them to cut, even though it's like obviously it's not the same team, but I don't think you'd want to, um, you know, come out and stink it up in the 2-15 matchup back to back years. I think you'd have to come out with a bit of a chip on your shoulder.
I agree with that. We'll see if that goes into play because there's another team that was really disappointing last year in the tournament. We'll see where we put Purdue and how we value what they did last year versus this year.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I like Arizona there. We'll see how far they make it.
Speaking of
Go
Purdue, Houston.
we could yeah, let's do the Houston, the South first side of the bracket.
Any topic here other than 116?
I don't have any 116 upset.
Yeah,
Obviously, it could happen, but I don't think it will.
one out of a million chance. I don't know what the odds are.
Not very good. Who's next here?
Nebraska and Texas A&M.
I don't have much insight here either.
I usually like to go. Yeah, I don't know a lot about Nebraska, but from what I can remember, Texas A&M is usually pretty consistent in the tournament. Are we, I think we were all 8-9 matchups so far. Yeah, we're going with that ninth, but I'd be okay going Texas A&M here. But
I really don't have an opinion. I think they'll lose the next round anyway.
y-
So
whoever wins
that,
just loses next round, anyways.
that's the thing. Like, I'm not gonna like debate against a wall because they're
Yeah,
gonna lose to Houston. I think.
yeah,
I don't think either of those teams have the personnel to kind of take down Houston.
yeah.
But we'll see. Uh, this is the 5-12 matchup that I'm looking at.
Okay, okay.
I This is one that I think lots of people are going to be talking about. I really like James Madison.
Okay.
Um, they're a team that's great defensively and they're good at shooting. Wisconsin's not a great shooting team and they're not very good defensively. I just don't know how Wisconsin is a 5 seed really. I was looking at the analytics and I just don't see it.
Yeah,
I think James Madison is a fun underdog team. Uh, and yeah, the 5-12 matchup, and they're a team that they kind of have everything that I want in an underdog team.
okay. Yeah,
So that's my take.
I'm game for that.
Okay.
Jamesy
Um,
Pooh Madison. Okay.
I'm wearing a Duke shirt. I don't know if you. Well,
Uh-oh.
I guess you can't see. Yeah. I guess no one could see. I'm just wearing it for fun.
Bro dressed up for himself. Duke
Yeah,
and
you gotta get dressed up sometimes, you know.
Duke and Vermonte.
Duke is always a very talented team, just
Yeah.
because they're so good at recruiting. Um, I think
Well,
that's enough to will them.
they have some NBA talent this year, don't they?
They have Jared McCain,
Kyle
Tyrese Proctor,
Kyle
yeah,
Filipowski.
big man Kyle,
Yeah, I think
yeah,
talent
so-
usually it's usually a good way to win games. I don't think it's 100% the way to win the tournament, but I definitely could see Duke um getting well, depending on how much you love James Madison, getting through a round or two with their talent.
yeah, um, yeah. I see them the talent being enough to make it past the first round at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
After that, we'll have to see about James Madison. Uh, Texas Tech and NC State. Don't really have much insight here
Just
either.
just the dead air.
Texas Tech, great podcasting.
Um
Texas Tech usually good from what I
yeah, I was
remember.
gonna say Tex, Texas Tech is usually pretty solid. I do feel like North Carolina State is usually pretty solid as well. I'd be game for going either way, um, upset or play it safe. But yeah, I think they're usually both pretty reliable, at least for like first round matchups.
Yeah, I'm good with either. I think you can decide here.
I usually go Texas Tech. I'm just trying to remember if my gut is correct. Probably not, but we'll go
I mean,
Texas Tech.
the odds of getting a perfect bracket. That's the thing. Like we're just doing this for
No, no,
fun.
no. This is gonna win us $1 million.
It's more than $1 million. It has to be. Have you looked at like the probability of getting a perfect bracket?
One in a, one in a billion? I don't even know. What is the
Something like
probability? And I can't say I'm surprised. Like even just the first round, the fact that barely any brackets are alive after the first round is crazy.
yeah. After one day, it's like oh, there's only 3 brackets left. It's like fuck.
No, the weird thing is though, I swear I see that post like 3 times. Like there's only 3 brackets remain, and then like the next day it'll be like there's only 4 brackets remaining, and I'm like, huh?
How does that work? Um, Kentucky and does that say Oakland?
Yeah,
Uh, Kentucky's similar to Duke, where they're just very talented and they always have guys that are gonna be in the draft.
yeah.
Um,
Don't know a lot about Oakland either. Um, but yeah, I'm game to go Kentucky. They have someone this year, don't they? They have I don't want to.
they have the #1 projected. Okay, we didn't talk about this on the podcast yet because we just didn't have time. But there's a new mock draft that came out, and Reed Shepard, who plays for Kentucky, is projected #1,
Is he
and
really?
he comes off the bench. Yeah,
They also have Dillingham, Rob
Rob
Dillingham, who I really like. So yeah,
and DJ Wagner.
yeah,
So
they have a solid roster, and I'm game for
they're
Kentucky.
good offense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, we got Florida and
The Florida
either
Gators.
Boise, the Montreal Gators.
What's that? Boise? No.
That's Boise and Colorado.
Okay. I
Um,
do usually like Boise for a solid upset, but I also
I also like Colorado,
yeah, that's
so
true.
I could get either
I'd
of
be I'd
them.
be okay with the upset. As much as I've liked to go with Florida in the past, I do really like Boise slash Colorado.
And yeah, you really like Boise, I guess, and I really like Colorado. So it's like if either of them go, then and Florida's only a 7, so
Yeah,
it's not
not
like
like it's a crazy upset.
yeah. Who's next? Marquette and Western
K
Kentucky. I'm
Western Kai.
Western Cal. Um, I'm not too high on Marquette in the tournament, but I think they get out of this round
Yeah,
personally.
I am of the same thinking. It's just the numbers are so against you as a 215. It can happen, but yeah, I'm not insanely high on Marquette either. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think they'll make it out the mud. Speaking of
Okay.
Purdue,
Here's the
Tennessee.
116 that
Just kidding. Yeah, Purdue.
here we go. The 116 upset.
What
Um,
team is this in 16?
I have no idea. I didn't even look because I don't care.
MTST slash Graham.
I have no idea, dude.
Purdue it is. You got lucky
Purdue
this.
it
You got lucky this time, Purdue.
is. uh,
Utah State or TCU?
um, another 8-9. Do you have any thoughts on this matchup?
Insight? Not really. Um, yeah, no. I don't remember a whole lot about TCU, and I feel like Utah State historically isn't great, but um,
Yeah.
I'd be okay going with our only 8 matchup of win with this with Utah State, but unless you think
You know what, for a
otherwise.
second? I want to look at the other 8 matchups. So we got Mississippi State, Michigan State, Utah State, TCU, and then the other one is Nebraska Tech. I'm most confident in what's it called? Utah State is the 8 seed. I think they're the
Yeah,
8 seed I like the best out of the other ones. So I think that if we had to pick an 8 to move on, it would be Utah State.
I'm game for that. I'm game for that.
Yeah. 5-12, Gonzaga
Gonzaga.
and
Does Gonzaga
um
have any draft talent this year? I feel like they have someone.
they usually do.
They usually have
Their
like one
team
guy, I feel.
they were a really good team the past couple of years, but I don't They're only the 5 seed this year.
Ryan Nemhard. Yeah, I don't really recognize any names here. Ben Gregg.
Um, I don't really see any. Um, they're a team that is really good offensively. They made it to the, I guess that's the Elite Eight, or no, Final Four. That looks like the Final
Yeah, they were.
Four.
I remember they were pretty good last year too.
Yeah, I am pretty torn on this because I really like McNeese. The problem, just because McNeese is really efficient and they're really good defensively, and they're a really good underdog team.
Hmm.
Um, the problem though is that Gonzaga is a really big team that mashes the paint, and McNeese is small. So that might be the difference maker for me.
Okay, I could see
I
that.
mean, this is a game to watch for sure. I think that there could be an upset, but I think to be safe, I'd go with Gonzaga.
Okay, okay. We
Um,
have a 5-12 match. We have a 12 win over
here's
there as well.
another.
So
I believe in James Madison more than McNeese,
yeah,
even though I could see McNeese going on a Cinderella run, but I think the personnel and the history of Gonzaga the past couple of years, and also the size mismatch, I think they'll abuse that just because um, obviously they're greatly coached, so I think that they'll kind of abuse that mismatch.
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So, well, let's see here.
Kansas and Samford.
I don't like Kansas. I'm not gonna lie to you.
They're always pretty consistent in the tournament, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Consistent to make it to Sweet 16 slash round of 32, I'd say. But yeah, Samford. I don't know anything about them, so
Kansas, I've seen lots of analysts taking Stanford here,
really.
and also, yeah,
Okay, okay.
Kansas is like a fraudulent team kind of, and
I can
even when
see
I
that.
was looking
Yeah.
at it, but Kansas also might have a big injury. I think one of their top players is injured, and he's questionable to play.
Okay, okay.
And I don't mind taking another
You've
upset. Like
got
if there's
you've got
a,
me on board with the upset.
yeah, I'm a persuasive man. But if there's a matchup where it's like it's close, where I think it could go either way, usually I'll go with the upset, just because I don't know, it's
For the
fun to see.
culture.
Kansas has had their time.
For real. They've had more than enough time. South
I
Carolina
don't
and
really have
Oregon.
I don't really have too much insight here.
I feel like Oregon's usually pretty good. Also feel like South Carolina is usually pretty good though. So
Yeah, I don't really have too much to say here. I want to look at South Carolina what they did last year.
I feel like they're
Okay.
usually
Oh,
high
this is
seeding, but usually maybe upset early. If I
South Carolina is a really good underdog team from what I've seen.
okay,
Last year they were 11 and 21, and they've completely turned it around this year, and they're 26 and 7.
okay.
Um, they're a team that I've seen lots of people liking. I don't mind going either team here though. Um, Oregon Oregon doesn't really stand out to me in
I
any
was gonna say
ways.
I'm okay going with South Carolina in this run.
Yeah, we could do that. Um,
I really like Creighton. They've been good in the
I
past couple of years.
I I also really like Creighton.
Yeah, sorry LeBron, but I'm game for
Oh,
Creighton.
yeah. Wait a second. Bro, USC isn't in this tournament.
They lost the Mobley brothers.
Have they been just like really bad this year? But they have Isaiah Collier.
Oh yeah, they don't. Well, because Collier hasn't been very good this year, I don't think.
Really?
Like his stock has been dropping fairly, um,
Mm.
quite a bit. So, and well, I think he was maybe not.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
might be making that up, but I feel like might have been hurt. Obviously Bronny missed time, but not that he's very impactful anyways. I'm pretty sure if his name wasn't LeBron James Jr., that he would be like a second round pick at most this draft. I saw some people
Yeah.
even saying that he should stay another year at USC.
I've also seen some execs say that they would take Bronny. with a pick because of the chance of LeBron.
which is crazy
Uh,
because he's not leaving LA.
no, that's why I'm like, it doesn't really matter because I don't see a world where LeBron leaves LA.
If I was
Um,
LeBron, I would tell Bronny stay another year at college.
yeah, develop your game and prove to people that you're a real talent.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
And you could also get more opportunity next year. I see why USC didn't make the tournament now because they finished 15 and 18. I didn't know they were that bad this year.
That'll do it.
They're 213th in offensive rating and 217th in defensive rating. So
That would do it.
they don't do nothing. Um,
They don't do nothing. I didn't do nothing.
go to
Texas,
the
Texas, UVA/CSU.
UVA could be Virginia. I don't know who SU is. Um, Texas usually is pretty
I
good.
was gonna say Texas is usually pretty good. University
I
of
don't.
Virginia and CSU basketball. Colorado
No, it's just.
State.
Oh, it is Colorado State.
I feel like Colorado State's usually okay, but
They usually are,
I usually like
but
the Texas pick.
Texas made it to what is this? The Elite Eight last year.
Yeah, I usually rock with Texas.
Yeah, they made it to the Elite Eight. I think that they'll make it out the mud first round.
Sorry, CSU and UVA. Tennessee and St. Peter's upset again? Question mark. I think St. Peter's was St.
They've done
Peter's
it before.
the 15 upset before or yeah they were 15 upset, right?
Was that last year or the year before? It probably was two
Might
years
have
ago
been. I think
now.
it might have been 2 years ago. Cause weren't they okay? St. Peter's. I think it was
Yeah,
2 years
I'm
ago. Last year
22
they were a
to
five
March.
seed. Or wait,
Really?
maybe. I'm assuming this is
We
last year.
don't know what.
I'm assuming, or maybe. No, I don't know what I'm looking at.
Who knows,
Um,
man? St. Pete. Where is St. Pete? Oh, they upset Kentucky 2 years ago.
yeah, as the 15.
They went all the way. They went all the way to the elite. Yeah, they were the 15th seed.
Yeah, I remember that year. Cause Pete picked them to upset. So yeah,
I mean, if they've done it before.
it's hard to predict an upset of this
Yeah.
caliber, but
I like Dalton Connect though.
yeah,
That's the only
yeah,
thing. I really like Dalton Connect.
yeah. I can agree with that.
I'm trying to see who's on this Kentucky team. Maybe this can. Oh, they had. Oh, he didn't play. I was gonna say they had Shaden Sharp, but this was a bad Kentucky year. It looks like.
Well, that sounds about right.
Um, I'm good for either here, honestly. If you want to go with the upset, then we could go for it.
No, I'm okay playing it safe. There's only been like what, 10, 15 two upsets. That might even be a lot more than what it actually is.
Yeah, yeah, I'm cool. Okay, top left.
UConn and Northwestern
I'm going. There's no way UConn doesn't make it
to
to
at
at
least like Sweet
least
16.
not even like
I was gonna
Elite
say,
Eight.
and even that, I feel like Elite Eight is, if they don't make it to Elite Eight, that's a, what's the word? Uh, yeah,
Disappointment.
that's a disappointment for them.
Even if they don't make it to the Final Four, I feel like just because they've been so good and they're so well balanced,
Yeah,
they have everything I kind of look for, and I'd go with them there.
yeah, I'm okay with that. Feels like an easy pick
Yeah,
to moi.
San
Um,
Diego
yeah, I was
This
thinking,
is interesting.
yeah, for initial thought I was thinking San Diego State, but what do you got for me?
I don't really have too much insight. I'm cool with either or here.
Yeah, I think it'll be
I
a,
think that
I think it'll be a close
you,
matchup, but I'm
yeah,
I'm
that
okay
should
going
be.
with San Diego State.
I I do like Auburn slightly better, but I'm cool with either. If you want to go San Diego State, this is
Cinderella
about who.
run. Cinderella, even though it's a 5
Ooh,
seed.
and then UConn San Diego State rematch. I like that actually.
Ooh, okay, okay, okay.
And it's
Perfect.
an upset, so it's like, ooh, there,
All right, the Moorhead versus BYU.
I really like BYU. Are
Yeah,
you cool with sticking with Moorhead?
I feel like that's. Well, I mean, I'm cool with sticking with Moorhead unless you do really like BYU.
Oh, you're saying for this round?
Yeah,
You want to go Moorhead for this round?
whatever you want, boss. I mean, you said you like BYU.
I do really like BYU. In my bracket, I have them going pretty far. Let me just pull up mine. Yeah, I would take BYU.
I'm game for that.
Um, see, this should be an interesting one. Washington
Yeah,
State and Iowa State.
yeah, because I'm not incredibly high on Iowa State, but
Not either. I'm not really high on them either. I'm good with either team really.
yeah, in my first bracket, I had Drake going to like the Sweet 16, so I'd be okay going Washington State here though.
Washington State's best trait is its defense, particularly on the perimeter.
And that's, I
I
mean,
I like
yeah, that's a good thing to hang your hat on. So I'm okay going Washington here.
I'm cool with that, yeah. Um, I'd say North Carolina.
Convincingly,
I'm not.
Oop,
I pretty much.
yeah, it's hard. It's hard to beat a 1 seed, no matter where you are. So
Yeah, I just don't really like Michigan State too much.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, it's
like
mostly a
if they were a better,
reputation, I'd say, if anything.
yeah. St. Mary's in Alabama. Hmm, what do you think here?
Um, I'd be okay. I don't want to go with a 5/4 again, but I'd be okay doing going with St. Mary's here.
I do like St. Mary's more personally.
Yeah,
I think that they're more of a two-way team, whereas Alabama's more of just like an offensive juggernaut team.
yeah, which is hard, especially for the tournament. Is hard.
Yeah, that's something. But also Kentucky, I'm interested to see how well they do because they're also very much like an offensive heavy
They're
team.
very offensive heavy. Yeah,
They're like one of the worst teams in the nation when it comes to like defensive rating and stuff.
yeah.
So I'm curious to see where they land later. But I'm cool with St.
We can
Mary's
go
personally.
St. Mary's here.
Yeah. Um, Baylor and New Mexico. Hmm.
I like the idea of an upset, but I don't think I see Baylor getting dropped this early.
I can agree with that. I think it could be close. I think it could be a fun matchup. Um, I'd say go Baylor just to be safe.
Yeah,
We do have lots of upsets,
we do have a fair amount.
and I don't have a reason to dislike Baylor, I think.
Yeah, I can agree with that. They're usually pretty sound like that.
Yeah, they're just like a consistent team, I feel like. And New
Speaking
Mexico,
speaking of upsets, though, what are you thinking on Dayton here?
I don't mind a Dayton pick, man.
I don't mind a Dayton upset here either.
I say go for it.
Beauty.
Beautiful. Okay. Moving on to the west, was that? South.
South.
South. Um, I like Houston. I think they're probably my second favorite one seed other than UConn.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like Texas A&M a lot. They're usually pretty consistent in the tournament, but I think Houston's gonna be a hard team to take out in this tournament.
Houston's defense is the best in the nation, I believe,
Yeah,
and I think this tournament is a grinded out. Like that's what March Madness kind of is,
yeah,
and Houston excels at that.
yeah, yeah. I can agree with that.
Now,
Your boys.
I this would be a fun matchup for me just because I like James Madison, but also I'm
Duke,
the Duke boy.
Duke is Duke.
I honestly don't know where to go here. What are
Duke.
you thinking right now?
Hold on. Who does Duke have again?
Duke has Jared McCain, Tyrese Proctor, Kyle Flipowski.
I really
Um,
like the idea. I like Kyle Flopowski, but I'm also like Proctor is okay, and so is Jared McCain, but they're not like elite in my opinion.
yeah,
So I'd be okay.
they are
With
a
the
younger. Yeah,
Yeah, which is why it's a little concerning. So I would be okay with the upset here, depending on how much you rock with your James Madison.
I rock with James Madison, bro. We're going James Madison. I don't care. The other thing with Duke and just like in this tournament in general, I'm not the biggest fan of when your team is led by an inside center.
Yeah, I
Uh,
agree. It's especially
like
like a slower pace center. It's just hard unless you're super dominant. So yeah, I can agree with
like
that.
that's yeah, that's why I'm kind of like turned off by Purdue, not just because of last year, but just because they do have a big traditional center where it's like I feel like I'd rather have a dominant guard than a dominant big. So,
Yeah, yeah, I can see
um,
that.
yeah, Texas Tech and Kentucky. Mm,
I do like
I'm
them boys at Kentucky with their offense, but Texas Tech is also super consistent. So up to you.
yeah, I'm good with either. Hmm, who does Kentucky? Kentucky's just so deep.
Yeah, they
But
they have a
how
solid roster.
deep? Let me just do some Texas Tech research real quick, just because I really don't know much about them. Um, their offense, they look okay. I'm not really too high on them. Like nothing about
Texas
them kind
Tech.
of stands out to me. Oh, I mean Texas Tech, nothing really stands out to me.
Yeah,
I would go
yeah.
Kentucky,
Okay.
but
I'm game for going
you want
Kentucky. I'm game for
okay,
Kentucky. I like Dillingham a lot, so
okay, cool.
hopefully he can have a nice run for the tournament. Man, it's crazy that he's essentially one of their best players and he's 2 years younger than us, man.
I we're better.
We are better.
We're we're just
Look at him having to play basketball for a living. We can just make podcasts for not a living.
yeah, I was gonna say. Um, Marquette and either Boise or Colorado.
I don't I Yeah, I'm not high on Kentucky or not Kentucky, Marquette, but
Yeah,
I don't 100% know if I want to go upset here. I think I think it'd be cool, but I also don't know if I see them taking Marquette out just yet.
I'd be cool with Marquette, and then probably Kentucky will move on. I
Yeah.
think that Kentucky
Whoa,
makes it
whoa,
out of
whoa!
that.
No spoilers. Just kidding.
Um, but yeah, I'd go Marquette.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I think the furthest they go is this Sweet 16 there, and even then, I don't really. They just have such a good like side of the
I
bracket.
was gonna say they got a very um lucky yeah
Favorable,
yeah
like
they got favorable matchups for them definitely.
yeah. Okay, I'm cool with that. So what do we have so far? We got a 1-5, 1-12, a 6-7, a 2-2 or
3
3-2,
2. 2 2.
and then we have 2-2. So I'm cool with that. And then
This
we got
side we
a
got
one.
NC a 1 5 and a 3 7, and then we got
I think it's a good variety. Really.
yeah.
Um,
Uh,
Purdue and Utah.
are we saying Purdue makes it out the mud, or are we hating on Purdue?
I'm not sure. I am a bit worried, but I think they also should have a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, and yeah,
Um,
I think I don't know, I think I'm like opinionated enough in a certain way about Utah State to the point where I want to
yeah,
pick them over
I
Purdue.
think I think the thing about Utah State is they don't shoot a lot of threes.
Yeah,
Like they're not a good 3-point shooting team, from what I know. And I think that's going to be a type of team that beats Purdue.
yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
So I'm cool with Purdue here.
Beauty. Zaga or Stanford?
don't really know.
I, hmm, yeah, I think the Kansas matchup was favorable for them, so I'd be okay going Gonzaga here. But I think it'll also be a close, a fun game.
Yeah, I like that little side of the bracket, the Gonzaga, McNeese, and then Kansas,
Yeah,
Stanford. I'll go with Gonzaga here too. Um, but then again, just like the Kentucky thing, I think Purdue will move on from this side of the bracket.
yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I think like Gonzaga will just have a couple dogfight games, and then you just have Purdue kind of waiting for you.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. South Carolina and Creighton. I'm going Creighton, bro.
Yeah, I agree. I've always Creighton's been consistent the past few years, so I'm good with Creighton here.
And then Texas, Tennessee. What do you think?
I was gonna say I'm honestly not against the idea of Texas here, unless you have a way to convince me on Tennessee.
I really like Dalton Connect. That's
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, that's fair.
He's really good. That's my only that's my only thing. I don't like Tennessee too much as a two seed. Um, I'd be cool with Texas, honestly. I'm just gonna look at their stats here. Um, yeah, I wouldn't mind a Texas
Good
thugging
old,
it out, and
good old Texas.
yeah, this ain't Texas.
I was thinking of that SpongeBob episode.
Oh,
Texas.
I guess so. I
UConn,
think UConn
San
will.
Diego State. If UConn loses, so is 90% of people's brackets.
Yeah, they're gonna lose to who is the first round matchup they have? Mason.
Stetson.
Stetson. If Stetson takes them, every bracket's eliminated. Um, except for like the dean of Stetson.
BYU or Washington State.
I like BYU personally.
I was gonna say in this matchup specifically, I think I would easily go B. Not easily, but um,
Yeah,
yeah, BYU is my team here.
I like that.
How high are you
Um,
on James Madison, bro?
I think their run ends here.
I agree. I agree.
I
Unfortunately,
go,
they got some good matchups for them, but I think Houston comes out and kicks them.
yeah. And then
We
Kentucky Marquette.
already talked
So,
about Kentucky and Marquette, so yeah, I'm cool with Kentucky going there.
1-3 and 1-6. I like that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I always like to have one team outside of like a top four seed.
Yeah, yeah. I don't want all of our one seeds to go to the what would that be? The Elite Eight.
Yeah,
Um, but I think they might all have to.
I know. Cause yeah, I think
Um,
Gonzaga's end
well,
run ends here. Unless
I don't mind St.
I was
Mary's.
gonna say, unless we're thinking St. Mary's.
I don't mind St. Mary's. But then we also, if we have a 5-7 in our Elite Eight, is that like?
I
Because
Here's the
if
thing.
we take,
I was thinking the 5-7 too, but
I let's do it, man.
St. Mary's, Dayton,
Mary's and Dayton. I
and then
like
we
it.
said we're thinking Purdue,
And then
and
Creighton.
yeah, I was gonna say Creighton as well. So now we got
Ow.
Purdue. I guess we'll go back up here. There's
Yeah,
too many fucking
yeah.
teams here, man. Um,
I like
BY,
UConn.
BYU run ends here.
I think their run ends here. It
Yeah,
was a great run.
it was a good run, boys.
Houston and Kentucky.
I was low key thinking Kentucky, man. I want to see that Dillingham run, bro.
I, I don't mind it. I'm not like attached to any of these teams. Um, Kentucky's defense is
I know
bad.
that's the problem. Like we have them here.
Like,
I could see them losing early, which is unfortunate if we
yeah, it
pick them
kind
to
of
beat
goes against,
Houston here.
yeah, it kind of goes against like the things we've been saying with like experienced teams and like defense and like two-way play.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know. I think Houston is the second best one seed, so I don't mind. Like, because if we don't have Houston here, I don't think any other 1 seed would move on except for UConn to
That's fair.
the final
Yeah.
four. So
Okay. I'm game for Houston here.
game for Houston, and then we'll see.
It was a good run, Dillingham.
Um,
So now the
if
bottom
we
half
go
of our
here,
bracket.
St. Mary's and Dayton. Ooh,
I don't know. This is gonna be this would be a fun matchup in the Sweet 16. Or is it
yeah,
Sweet
yeah. For
16? Yeah.
well, whatever
No,
the case.
that's Final Eight.
Saint. Mm, I don't know.
I want to
I
say
don't really.
I want to say Dayton, but I don't know.
I don't mind Dayton either, honestly. I'm gonna look at one thing for St. Mary's. I don't know if they have a go-to guy, and I know for sure. Oh, St. Mary's' defense is so good though.
That's true.
So I don't. They have the fourth best defensive rating in the nation and the second best defense,
That
and
is
that's a type.
Yeah, that is something that's something.
And Dayton doesn't have like an amazing offense.
Yeah,
So I'm cool with St. Mary's. I do like Dayton and I like how they made it this
I was gonna
far.
say it's been a good run, but I'm okay going St. Mary's here as well.
I'm game for St. Mary's, yeah. So there are like underdog team in the final four, right? Because we have a 1-1-5.
Yeah,
I'm going Creighton,
I was gonna
bro.
say I'm game for Creighton here.
I yeah. And then also I have Creighton going to the final.
I was gonna say I would pick Creighton here as well.
I bro, we're just the Creighton
I
boys.
was gonna say we're Creighton fanboys.
Yeah. And then I think this is where St. Mary's run ends.
I was gonna say I don't think UConn, or yeah, I don't think UConn's run ends here, but I also don't know if I think UConn runs back to
Yeah.
back.
Here's my thing, okay? I was looking at all the numbers. I was like, this is extremely close if we get a Yukon Creighton matchup.
Yeah,
But there's one stat that stood out to me that I think decided it for me. These teams played earlier in the season. Creighton won by 19.
okay, okay.
Um, and I kind of like the idea of not taking a 1 seed. Like, how many times does the 1 seed win the championship? You
I
know,
feel like,
like it probably
especially as
happens
of
a lot.
recent, I feel like it hasn't been a
Yeah.
lot of, as of recent.
Was well, I mean, was UConn the 1 seed?
I feel like there were like four or
Almost
something.
four. So
Oh,
yeah.
oh,
Um.
I just randomly guessed four.
Wow. I like Creighton to win it all, man.
I'm honestly game for that.
I think they have everything that I'm kind of looking for with a team. Oh, I forgot to mention something about Creighton. Okay, this is another reason I think Creighton is amazing. Because I was talking about teams having number one guys. This team has the best trio in the nation. They have three 17 plus point per game scores.
Okay, okay.
I think that they're an elite shooting team. They're one of the best shooting teams. They're one of the best teams at defending the 3 point line. And they have three elite scorers and have the best scoring trio in the nation.
I'm okay with that.
I
Yeah,
I really like Creighton here, bro.
yeah,
Creighton's the team.
I agree. I think they have a good recipe to succeed here.
Yeah.
What's our
I like
tiebreaker?
tiebreaker. Fucking-
I don't even know
Let's like.
what's the average score in a college game. Like one
Well, let's. Well, I'm gonna look at both these teams with their average. Like,
one
so Connecticut.
121.
UConn averages 82 points this season,
Okay.
which is a lot.
Okay.
I don't think they'll do that much.
Yeah.
And then Creighton is 81. So maybe like a little like 75 to like 70 game, so like 145 around there.
144. 144.
144, I'm cool with that.
344.
So this is our bracket. You could just do a little scroll to kind of show everything in its pureness. Is there anything you want to change?
I
Or
was
is
gonna
this
say, is there anything of or what are the main things of to point out here? I guess the Moorhead State
That
upset.
yeah, that matchup I'm looking at, I'm still not completely sold on it, but I like it.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
I
It's a
think
hard
over
predict a 3-14. So yeah,
I'm cool with doing that just because I do think that it's possible. I also think that whoever wins that game's going to lose next round anyway.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I like that. Washington, Drake, yeah, okay. UConn, San Diego. I like that left side of the bracket so far.
Yeah.
Right
Right side,
side,
nothing of I guess your
James
boys Jay
Madison.
Madison.
Yeah, there. I got Duke. I'm sorry. I gotta get the James Madison shirt.
A 10,
Um,
a 7-10 upset. So there's
yeah,
that.
yeah. I'm liking it.
Yeah, nothing too out
So
of.
yeah.
I guess James Madison. Yeah, just making it all the way to the Sweet 16 is really the only thing of mention there. And then
Well,
yeah, I
we
feel
have a
like this is
7
our
Sweet
this is the half of our bracket that gets interesting.
the bottom part here.
Yeah,
I feel more confident in the top part too. Um, St. Mary's and Dayton. I really like that though. I'm not a big believer in Alabama. I'm not a big believer in Baylor, but I
yeah,
think that they'll get far enough.
yeah. I think their
And
reputation has
then
them will get them far enough. And then yeah, Arizona too.
I think that section's open. So
Yeah, I like
I
this. I think this half of this west side of the bracket is gonna be fun.
I think it'll be fun too.
And then yeah,
And then
I'm pretty confident in the Creighton pick. I'd say.
I'm thinking Creighton's gonna go all the way.
Yeah, I'm fairly confident in Creighton. And then yeah, I think Purdue got a pretty favorable bracket as well. But yeah, I think that's where Creighton will come in and end
Yeah,
their reign of terror.
yeah,
And then
I agree.
I guess we had the Samford upset here as well. I've mentioned.
And then Texas over Tennessee.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Um, yeah, we got some upsets there. We got some. I like our bracket.
This will be the bracket that wins us millions.
And then ESPN's gonna do a whole coverage on us, and we're gonna get so much popularity and so many more views to the podcast. It's gonna be great.
Number one podcast in the world.
Yeah, so I guess thank you for watching slash listening to this episode of the Hoopers Lab podcast. If you enjoy, leave a like if you're on YouTube and subscribe. Comment who you think is going to win the championship, and tell us how wrong we are about things. Let's get into some debates because we said it before.
We are
We're not
noobs.
playing. Yeah, this is Idiot's Guide to the NCAA March
I
Madness. So
can't
it's like
believe they picked St. Mary's to make it all the way to the Final Four.
yeah, Purdue is gonna win it all. They have the best player in college basketball.
The funny thing is, like, this is actually like, there are hardcore college fans that will argue like that. I mean, it's the same thing with NBA, but it's just funny to me.
And this one's so like less subjective. Like
Yeah,
no one is right. No one's going to ever be right. This
yeah.
is just a fun like thought experiment basically.
No, exactly.
And it's just something to hype you up for college basketball more. Like this experiment has made me more hyped for the tournament
I
than I thought
agree.
I was gonna.
I agree. Like after March Madness, every year I'm like, man, I need to get into college basketball, and I never do.
Yeah, no, no facts. Especially since this draft doesn't really have a lot of players like stars that
Star
are in
talent.
college.
Well, and the thing is, like, college basketball is just so like I don't want to say boring, but like it's just super repetitive.
Yeah. Um, Another thing is we don't really see like many guys that are going to be in the NBA draft, like high lottery picks. We don't really see them dominate this tournament that much.
Yep, which is like
Um,
even Duke when they had Zion, RJ, and my goat Cam Reddish, they only made it to what Elite Eight, if that even. They didn't go incredibly far from what I remember. So
on
yeah,
paper, they were super team.
didn't I think they had someone else of note on their roster too. So
Mm,
I think it was like a point guard.
I have no idea. Like, did they have Trey Jones during that time?
Might have been. No, who is it? I guarantee they had a point guard on that roster as well.
2019. I'll look at the 20. It was 2019, like 2018, 2019. I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
We'll look at the 2018, 2019 team. So they had R.J. Barrett. They had Trey Jones. Yeah,
Oh, it was Trey Jones. Okay,
you thought you could get me.
okay.
Yeah, they lost to Michigan State by 1 point that year
Yeah,
in the looks like the Elite
I
Eight.
remember because my one of my teachers at school did he was doing a bracket for it, and I picked Duke to go all the way, and I was like, no, they lost. I was fuming.
Yeah. Um, so yeah. Also, if you're on Spotify listening, that cut out probably. Um, if you're on Spotify listening, then give us 5 stars,
Sorry
and
you
also
couldn't
there'll be a
see.
poll.
Sorry you couldn't see the bracket.
Oh yeah, but I mean, if you're on Spotify, go over to YouTube. What are you doing? If you're a visual learner, go to YouTube.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. Stay tuned for the bracket. We'll give some updates later. Probably sprinkle it throughout our NBA shows.
We didn't get a single pick right.
Yeah. Update, guys.
We suck.
We were wrong. Yeah, we suck. All right. So this has been it. We'll see you in the next one. Take care and goodbye.
Adios.